Welcome back to Ask Dr. Clarke. Today's topic, how to pick a godly, good man. I covered in my last YouTube video, or one a bit back, how to avoid a loser. Well, here's how to pick a winner. When you divorce a narc, you are free to remarry. And you want to be absolutely sure the new man is not a narc, number one, and is the right man, number two. You've had enough misery and trauma. Thank you. Here's how to spot a winner. Now, at the end of this video, I'll have a helpful resource for you. Today's question. I think this will resonate with many of you. I divorced a narc, and your books, Enough is Enough and Escaping Your Narcissist, helped me do it. Well, praise God for that. Now, she says, I'm back in dating world. I want to be certain I choose a man who will love me and treat me like a queen forever. Exactly. Much like Sandy Clarke has and Nancy Dugas has. This is my family. How do I choose a man like this, she asks. Very good question. My answer is, first, get my book, I Didn't Want to Divorce, Now What? This is the absolute right place to start. Not because I'm making money because you buy it, even though I do. It's because I wrote it for you to heal from what's happened, all the traumas in your life and the trauma of the narc, one or two that you've been involved with, and to get healthy and healed from that. Because healthy chooses healthy. So this is where you start. Don't date, I'm telling you, until you've read this book and have gone through it. You do your healing before you date anybody. Second, here's my checklist for a winner, a man who is the right man for you. Taken from, oddly enough, what a coincidence, I Didn't Want to Divorce, Now What? This book I've just recommended you buy. So here's a few selections here, just things to look for the whole package, buy the book. First, he is physically attractive. Obviously, the blonde Sandy chose me on that basis alone. Just kidding. Anyway, she's the beautiful one. Now, this may seem like a no-brainer, this physical attraction idea, but I've counseled divorced persons who were dating partners for whom they had no physical attraction. I said were because I told them to break up. Look, physical attraction isn't the only factor in choosing a mate, but it has to be on the list. If you don't immediately have physical attraction, you won't develop it later. You either have it or you don't. When I saw Sandy the blonde for the very first time standing in front of the Point Loma College gym in San Diego, California, Point Loma, oh my goodness. She was standing with a bunch of her, female friends. It was hard to get to her, but she was pointed out to me by my roommate, Dave Brown, who knew her. Oh my goodness. Most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I still feel that way today. That was an instant connection. And of course, when she saw me, it was the same reaction. I'm quite sure. So it's either there or it's not. If you don't have the va-va-voom for someone, vamoose, which means get out of there. Okay, number two, and really this should be number one. He is a godly man. Now the narc, especially the covert narc, will pretend to be a godly man because he knows that's important to you. We're not into pretending. You're going to make absolutely sure. He doesn't have to be the next Billy Graham, but he's got to be solid in his relationship with Jesus. Not pretending, but solid. He knows Jesus Christ and he is growing in that relationship. He attends his own church regularly. He tithes to his church. You ask him that. He has a daily quiet time in which he prays and reads the Bible. Also, what he's going to do is he's going to start involving you in the spiritual connection. He'll guide you into his prayer time, his devotional time. You'll have his devotions and prayer together for months to make sure he's not kidding and he's not fooling you. He freely shares his spiritual life with you, ups and downs, struggles, doubts, victories. He prays with you, spiritual conversations. I mentioned the devotions, all that. And he genuinely wants to help you grow in your relationship with Jesus. He doesn't follow you, he leads you spiritually. He makes sure you to attend church and he prays and talks about, and you pray and talk about your spiritual lives. Another section here, another quality, he talks to you on a deeper level. Narcs don't do that. Normal men do. They may have to learn how, but they can do it. Physical chemistry, important. But emotional chemistry is critical. This man actually talks to you and shares his emotions and his thoughts. He listens to you and has empathy for your emotions and problems. Avoid like the plague a man who has very little to say. Look, he's going to be boring and you'll be exhausted trying to get him to open up. No, you want a man that talks. He may be Might not talk as much as you do. Women talk more than men usually, but he talks. Your conversations are fun and open and lead to deeper levels of emotional intimacy. And get this, any topic, you are free to share whatever you want to share, and it's not going to upset him. Any topic, anytime, because you're interesting to him. Here's an important one. He deals directly with conflict. He doesn't enjoy conflict. I mean, who does? Actually, narcs do. He doesn't enjoy conflict, but he's man enough to talk through every conflict with you, every single one. You are not shut down. You're not given the silent treatment. Let's talk about something else, or we'll get back to that later. No, right now, or pretty close to right now. He listens to you share your point of view and emotions, and he respects both. He shares his point of view and his emotions in a reasonable adult way. He stays with the conflict conversation until you feel satisfied. He works with you to make a decision and then sticks to that decision. He's willing to compromise. Narcs can't do this. Now get this, you're going to want to do this over and over in the dating time. So you know for sure a narc can pull it off once or twice, can't pull it off 5, 10, 15, 20 times. Okay, now we have a man that can do it. He's shown he can do it over and over again. When he gets angry, he doesn't lose control. Narcs lose control. He says, I'm sorry when he does or says something to hurt you. And he doesn't just say it. He admits those mistakes and he works to correct them. He fixes the problem. He treats his kids well. This is also something to look for. He's a loving father who's crazy about his kids. He works hard to spend time with them. I mean, if he has kids, obviously. Been married before. He wants to meet their needs. He does not spoil them. When they disobey, he applies reasonable consequences. If you're blending a family, you have to have a man that gets it, understands discipline and consequences, and you need to be on the same page parenting-wise. When it's clear that you two are serious and marriage is on the table, he elevates you above his children. This is critically important. Narcs don't do that. For the narc, everybody's more important than you, and his kids are very important. No, they're still important, but better be under you. You become the most important human person in his life. That's near the end of the dating phase. Absolutely, you're number one. You do not compete with his kids. You are at the top of the food chain. Another one, his friends are normal. You can tell a lot about a person by the people they hang around. His friends are normal, emotionally healthy Christians, not a bunch of dirtballs. There are no alcoholics, there are no drug addicts, there are no emotionally unstable persons in his inner circle. Now, we're not going to, if his parents are crazy, that's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's something to consider. You'd like them to be fairly normal. There is no drama in his personal life and relationships. He has a good career, another important point. He has a solid job history, a good career, and is a hard worker. Not a workaholic, but a hard worker. He has a budget, he spends reasonably, and has money in savings. He will tell you what he makes and what he has in savings. He doesn't hide that. It's just right on the table. He drives a Porsche. I'm kidding. Whatever he drives, he takes care of his vehicle, and he doesn't drive like a maniac. If you see one road rage incident, when you're in the car with him, you get out of the car at the next stoplight, and you call a friend or an Uber, and you're done. Because it ain't going to be just one road rage incident. Obviously, when you're driving, you get irritated, but this is well past that. He is focused on meeting your needs. A winner, the kind of man you want, is focused on meeting your needs. A big part of love is having a partner who works hard to meet your needs. He identifies your needs and he meets them. He asks you what your needs are. If he can't meet a need, he'll tell you why. He wants you to be happy and feel loved. So often he'll do the things you want to do. If you want to go to a certain restaurant, he'll go. If you want to see a certain movie, he'll watch it with you. It may be a chick movie, maybe you like Hallmark shows, he'll watch those. Not all the time, but enough of the time. If you want to go to a craft fair, who wants to go to a craft fair? Oh, what a nightmare. You know what? The right guy will go. You think I love craft fairs? You know why I go? Because Sandy wants to go, and I'm with Sandy, and I'm making her happy, and we're together, and we're walking around. Fine. She knows I'm not crazy about it. I'm crazy about her. And he does what you want with a great attitude. He gets to be with you, so he doesn't care what you do. Now, there are times, and there should be, when he makes it clear he wants to do a certain activity, and of course you'll do that with him. That's fine. But not all the time. Narcs tend to do what they want to do all the time, even in the dating phase. And you're asked to come along for the ride. No, it should be balanced. Here's key. He's liked by your people. Your family and friends like him. Have time where you're spending time with your people, those that you know and trust and that love you, and get their honest feedback. They think he's good for you. And he gets along with your people. He's fine with you spending time with your people, alone or with him. Even in the dating phase, many narcs will begin to isolate you from your people, your family, your friends. The right guy doesn't do that. He's good with premarital counseling. Absolutely no problem at all. It's a good idea, especially when you're going to get married again. He is willing to go to premarital counseling with you. He wants the relationship to be strong and healthy prior to marriage. He is in no rush to marry you. Most of these narcs move like a freight train, or more like a rocket. I mean, let's do this right now. What's the rush? Okay. Here's key. He's willing to go through my book, Honey, We Need to Talk, which in my humble opinion is the greatest premarital book ever written. Okay, not the greatest, but it's pretty good. I think it's very solid. And you want to go through this book with him. You're both consenting adults. You're going to go through this book step by step. The right man will say, let's do it. And you'll get a really clear picture of this guy and what he's like and what the relationship is like and the potential for intimacy long term and faithfulness and trust and respect by going through this book, Honey, We Need to Talk. On the website, daviddclarkephd.com, Clarke with an E. As I keep telling you over and over, I've got a book for everything. If you know somebody that's getting married that it's not even a narc issue, this will be a great book for them to go through. Honey, We Need to Talk. Again, no speed dating. I strongly recommend slow dating. Take your time. Make sure you have a godly, solid, honest, and emotionally healthy person on your hands. Do not settle. Do not rush into a new relationship. Again, I've made it clear. You're going to heal first from all your wounds and narc issues with I didn't want a divorce, now what? And then you're going to be choosing carefully, and you're going to go through the Honey, We Need to Talk book. That is an incredible 1-2 punch. You're going to be in good shape if you'll do that.